Hey guys, in this video I'm going to briefly introduce the C Sharp 12 expansion for the C Sharp Player's Guide, and I'm going to walk you through ensuring that you got .NET 8 and C Sharp 12 installed and ready to go. So let's just dive right in. This is the C Sharp 12 expansion for the C Sharp Player's Guide. It's not only aimed at the 5th edition readers who have the 5th edition, but it'll work just fine for 4th edition readers, or if you got any other, if you got 3rd edition or whatever, like the the content's still going to be what you're looking for. Um, this is a very small expansion. I mean, if you look at the number of pages that are in here, I mean, it's only about 5 pages. But that's because C Sharp 12 is actually a pretty small update compared to recent updates. And that's because there was a bunch of features they were working on that didn't quite get finished in time. So I think C Sharp 13 in a year might be actually pretty big. But at any rate, it's still a nice set of additional features, and they're fun to use and they're a nice improvement to the language. So that's what this book covers. This expansion. I've also enjoyed doing these expansions. They're a nice little way to keep content coming out. If you are seeing this video and you don't already have the C Sharp 12 expansion, you can get it on Gumroad. You can find the link on the book's web page. And it's free. You don't have to pay for it. There's an option that you're allowed to pay for it if you want, but you definitely don't need to. It's like I said, keep in mind it's only 5 pages, so please don't feel like you're obligated to pay anything for it. But if you do want to throw a few bucks my way, and help buy me a coffee, I definitely appreciate that. Anyway, let's see. So we're going to I have other videos to cover the challenges in this expansion. There are 2 of them. So again, smaller than the C Sharp 11 expansion that just had more pages, more material, there was just more in C Sharp 11 than there is in C Sharp 12. That's fine. Anyway, I'm covering those in a different video, but for the rest of this video, what I want to do is walk you through how to update Visual Studio to ensure you've got .NET 8 installed. .NET is the framework, the ecosystem that C Sharp programs live in, and .NET 8 and C Sharp 12 go together. So you do need to have the correct, an up-to-date version of Visual Studio to make this work. So I'm going to, you can come down, you just run Visual Studio installer and you'll find it. Run that. I've already got it open here, so I don't need to run it. I actually at this point can probably uninstall 2019. I don't need that anymore, but I have Preview installed, which I'm going to take advantage of for this video, and I have the Visual Studio Community Edition that I can also use. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do this with a preview version because the correct version isn't. I'm recording this before the official release of .NET 8 and C Sharp 12, not by much, maybe by a week. And you should be able to use Visual Studio. You should be able to do this with just the normal, not preview Visual Studio. And you can see here, like what I'm looking at is 17.8, and this is 17.7.6. So I think within a few days of me recording this, you'll have this full version, and you'll be able to do what I'm doing here with just this. But so what you do is you come in here, and in theory, if you've already been using the book and been going through challenges, you've already got this installed and you have everything set up right, I think all you'll really need to do is you'll see this update and you'll just hit update and then you should have it. But all you should need to do, like if you want to check and see, come in here to this modify, give it a second to think. And if you click on individual components here, what you'll see is this .NET 8 runtime. That's the thing you're looking for. If you see that, then you've got it. So that's the main thing. That's all you really need. And as long as you got that, you should be good. I'll point out that for the book, you don't need most of these. There's a lot. You can add any of these things you want, but they do take up space. The main thing that you really need here is just make sure this .NET desktop development's checked. That's how you get the console development. I happen to have this ASP.NET stuff installed as well. I have often had other things installed as well. But right, this version only has that .NET desktop development one. Anyway, the only other thing I wanted to show you is making a new project, just to point out some things. So I'm going to jump over and do that. So if I'm sitting here ready to make a new project, Visual Studio, again, I'm in the preview version, but you shouldn't need this later. But I can click on New Project here. It opens up the new project template. I'm going to choose this console application. You can search for it over here if you don't have it here. By this point, you probably do, but you can always come in here and search for not test, but console, and then get filter it to C# and make sure you get this one, not the old school .NET Framework one, and hit next. Choose the name for your project. Pick a location. For small projects, I will always put the project and the solution in the same directory. For big ones that have multiple projects, I'll not do that. I'm gonna jump ahead here, and then you'll see this. So framework, and you'll expand this, and you can see which things I've got installed. And you can see like .NET 8. When you're doing this, hopefully it won't say preview anymore. But like I said, I'm running the preview version. .NET 8 is still technically preview for a few more days. You just make sure you've got that. To use the stuff that is in the expansion, you will want to, like if you're not seeing that .NET 8, preview or otherwise, then you don't have the right stuff installed. You won't be able to leverage those new things. So you want to make sure you choose the .NET 8 framework. Do not use top level statements. Like you can change these things later. I love top level statements. The book tends to work as though like every of the code samples, I'll assume you're using top level statements. I think the only people who really don't like top level statements are people who are old school C# programmers who are used to the formal written out program and main. Enable native ahead of time publishing. I'm just going to leave that unchecked, and then you just hit create and you're done. And that'll get you a project that's all set up and ready to go. So that's it. That's all you need. And now you can do all of I would make the suggestion that you just always use C#, .NET 8, C# 12. Like, why not take advantage of all these features in all of your, even outside of the challenges that are in this expansion? You might as well just use the latest and greatest. .NET 8 is a long-term support version, so it'll be supported for a couple of years. .NET 7, the previous one, will end its support here in the next little bit. Now that .NET 8 is out. So it's a long-term support one. It's a good one to be on. And yeah, so I think that covers everything. And I'll see you guys in the next video.